So I want to start with a really exciting, forward-looking statement. Of course, we're tremendously excited to talk to you about Tableau today, but please make your decisions based on products that are in market. We might talk about some things that are coming, and it would just be really responsible of you to make your decisions, your financial and purchasing decisions based on what's already in the market. Okay, so now I can properly introduce myself. My name is Mark Jewett. And I come from Tableau. I'm vice president in the product group at Tableau. And we are so pleased to be here and to have an opportunity to talk with all of you. We're kind of the new kids on the block here at Salesforce. And so you might be wondering, how do we fit in? And of course, Salesforce already has a great set of analytics products. You may have been already using Einstein Analytics to embed analytics right there in the CRM experience and infuse AI for your sales and service users. You might be using Datorama to connect all of your different marketing data sources and get great metrics across those marketing data sources. But now we introduce Tableau. And Tableau really expands our portfolio, allows us to serve a broad set of use cases across a broad set of departments, and really go enterprise-wide or wall-to-wall. So we wake up every day at Tableau, and we think about these 7 words. This has driven us since our founding more than 15 years ago. We help people see and understand data. And it's not just a throwaway statement for us. We deeply think about it. We are solely focused on that mission. And as a result, we were able to pioneer the modern era of analytics, a new way of doing analytics. And because of that, we've been able to work with tens of thousands of customers. And you'll find those customers around the world, in every part of the world. You'll find them in every industry that you can think of. And you'll find many of them having deployed analytics to tens of thousands of users across their organization. And so let me give you a few examples. Here's an example from Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is using this dashboard in order to help manage their inventory at Walmart. And by closely measuring those red dots, they've been able to help recapture, which are inventory indicators, they've been able to recapture tens of millions of dollars in lost sales. Another example, Booz Hamilton is working with the United States Air Force. And each of these small squares on this dashboard represents a piece of infrastructure. So might be a runway or air control tower. And they're using this dashboard to save hundreds of millions of dollars. And I'll tell you, as a taxpayer, I'm incredibly happy that's taxpayer dollars that they're saving. One more example from Alberta Health Services. So they're using this in the important work of measuring the dispensation of life-saving opioid medication. They're serving tens of thousands of Canadians that have opioid addictions, and they're reducing deaths as a result of that. This is why we joined Tableau, because we believe data can change the world. Excuse me. But there is one prominent misnomer out there that we're fighting hard to change, and that is this idea that data is only for experts. That you have to be a data scientist or a data engineer in order to work with data. And it's not hard to see why people might think that. We have studies like this one that tell us only 24% of companies readily provide access data to their people. Or this example, where only 8% of companies are really distinguishing themselves in the use of analytics. It's not hard to see why people don't view themselves as data people, why it seems too hard. But we have to bust that myth. We have to show that data is for everyone, especially in an era where data is growing so quickly. And it's not showing any sign of slowing down, and where it's very obvious that the ones that can harness their data are the organizations that are starting to thrive. We have to break down these barriers. You know, knowledge workers that can use analytics better understand the world that they live in, and they better understand the opportunities that they have. And there's more than 800 million knowledge workers in the world. Can you imagine the power if we can get better data and analytics to those knowledge workers? Can you imagine the power, the impact that we'll have on the world? And it is that idea in mind that we set about building the Tableau Analytics platform. This is an end-to-end integrated platform. It starts with flexibility and choice as a core premise. That means you can choose your deployment platform. Some choose to deploy it on premises, some in the public cloud, some as a hosted service from Tableau. It also means you can get to all of your data. You can analyze your data, whether it's in the cloud or on premises, with more than 85 native data sources right out of the box with Tableau. It means you can prepare that data and get it ready for great and powerful analysis, and then you can share it across your organization so that you can collaborate on the types of insights that can be found there. Whether people want to access that in a desktop application, in the browser, on their mobile device, or even embedded in the applications or the business processes that they already use today. Of course, all of that is surrounded by a strong governance framework. Security and compliance are critical when it comes to working with data. And then it has to be able to be integrated into your infrastructure, right? And so we provide a lot of extensibility and APIs so that you can do that. We've built this platform with a steady mind on innovation. And the original innovation that Tableau did in graphics, in the combination of graphics and data, we've kept that innovative spirit to today. More recently, we've brought new ways to manage data. We've brought new ways to query data using even your natural language. We've infused the platform with AI, making it so that you can get to better decisions faster. We release Tableau now on a quarterly basis. So in the last year, we've had 4 releases, and we've released more than 200 capabilities in that time. And what that innovation is turning into is the leading analytics platform. At its core, Tableau has succeeded because it's an analytics experience that people love to use. It's built on that trusted platform that we just talked about, and it's really designed to reach every person in your organization. Tableau helps you see and understand data. And it works in the way that you think. It's not just the destination that makes it truly unique, it's actually the experience, the journey that you go through that makes Tableau really different and helps you understand new insights in your data. So, rather than tell you about Tableau, I would rather show you Tableau. And to do that, I'm going to point in the back there to Leah and Eric. You guys give a wave. And we're going to show you Tableau together. In fact, in just a few minutes, we're going to build a full analysis. You guys ready for that? Okay, I saw enough head nods that I'll keep going. All right, so we're looking here at a data set from an organization called Kiva. If you're familiar with Kiva, it's an organization, a micro-lending organization that gives small loans to people throughout the world. And so there's 2 things I want you to understand about Tableau. It's dimensions and measures. You see them listed here on the left-hand side. These are essentially the words and the numbers in your data. So if you know that, and you know how to double-click, then you know how to use Tableau. So let's double-click on the funded amount. Immediately, we can see $1.3 billion in loans have been funded by Kiva. What if I want to see that broken down by gender? Double-click, and I see females are getting overall more loans than males. That seems promising from a diversity perspective. How about if we break that down by average instead of total? In Tableau, It's a single click. And now I can see a deeper part of the story. They're getting more in loans overall, but they're getting smaller loans on average. That might be an insight that I want to follow up on and learn more. Now, in Tableau, it's always easy to change your perspective. So, oftentimes in your data set, there will be information about location. Where are my customers? Where are my products? And Tableau, just like everything else, makes it easy to visualize geographic data by just dragging and dropping. So if we double-click on country, we can see all of the countries where Kiva loans have been funded. If I drag out the funded amount on color, I can now see by the darker colors which countries are receiving more in loans from Kiva. I can animate that year by year so that I can see as the expansion and growth of the Kiva mission goes every year. Isn't it amazing to be able to see that? I'm understanding that data. This is the kind of experience in Tableau, visual and direct, that people really love. It helps you interact with your data. It helps you, it's fast, it's fluid, and it gives you immediate reaction and response. And it's that interaction that helps you learn more about your data and find more relevant insights while you're doing it. Now, Tableau can also guide you to better analysis. We're looking here at the Show Me technology. So as we select the different dimensions and measures, you see different options lighting up in Show Me that show which visualizations can be applied. It's helping me understand which possible options will show that data best, and it's making it easy for me to switch between different chart types. Maybe I want to see that over time as a line chart. Maybe I want to see it as a stacked bar. It's all just point and click. Now, as I said, it's always easy to change your perspective in Tableau. You can go on a journey, you can go down a path and investigate more. In this case, maybe I want to break that down as a tree map. I want to drill deeper into the sector data. Just these different views of that data set that I have are helping me understand it more deeply, and again, get to better insights on what it's telling me. Now, what if I want to bring that all together into a dashboard so that I have a complete view of my business? Well, in Tableau, of course, that's drag and drop simple. So we're dragging those analyses that we just built onto the dashboard. We can go and make the map so that it's more dynamic and interactive. We can make that map a filter for the whole dashboard. It means as we select the Philippines, all of the data on that dashboard will be filtered to just that country. I can even drag around a set of countries so that I can see that data filtered for a region. What it means is that as each different person uses this dashboard, they can see it in the perspective that they need to see it. Okay, so maybe Kiva is not a typical data set that you would work with in your business. Tableau can help you connect to and analyze any data. You're seeing the group of native data sources for Tableau, which can allow you to connect to things like Cloudera, things like SQL Server, things like Snowflake, and of course Salesforce. It's all right here at your fingertips. In this case, we're going to pick Salesforce, and we're going to start, of course, trust is our #1 value, and so we're going to start by logging in and authorizing Tableau to have that access. Now I'm seeing the elements here in the data, in the Salesforce data, and so I can elect to drag it out, let's say the accounts data, and notice how it's taking advantage of all those relationships, those related objects, and pulling it out with accounts. Tableau knows how to do that for you. But in this particular case, instead of looking at accounts, we're going to look at opportunities data. Tableau has what we call hybrid data connectivity. And so as I connect to a data source, I have the option to choose between a live connection, which gives me the capability to have real-time, up-to-date information or data, or to extract that data into our hyper engine, which will give you lightning fast data performance. So as we connect and bring that data in, now we can start to analyze it. And we analyze it in exactly the same way that we did with the Kiva data. It's just dragging and dropping. So in this particular case, I've got some questions about discounting that my sales representatives have been doing. So by dragging and dropping fields, I can get a view, just like this one, that shows me the average discount rate that each of my salespeople are applying. And it's interesting, I immediately see, because of this visualization, an outlier there up at the top. It looks like Jeff Simmons is discounting quite a bit more than other people, right? So discounting, when I'm running my business, is bad. So I think I probably want to go have a chat with Jeff and figure out what's going on. But before I do that, Tableau doesn't just help me understand what happened, it helps me explain why it happened. And so with explain data, we're using powerful machine learning and AI to find the reasons behind. We're looking for the needle in the haystack, the explanations for why that data, that mark was where it was. And as we run explain data, it will go in the background and use algorithms and check every dimension, every measure, in every row of the data to come back with the plausible explanations as to why. And you can see here, as we ran explain data, an explanation that includes an extreme single value, essentially an order that has a 3,000% discount on it, which either that customer got a wonderful deal, or more likely there's actually a problem in that data. So with Tableau, there's no such thing as a dead end. You can always analyze more, you can always move forward. In this case, we can scroll down, we can go from that insight to select the visualization with that extreme value removed. And now we can see Jeff's discounting profile and note that it compares actually pretty favorably to the rest of the group. So Jeff, I don't need to go have a conversation with Jeff, I need to go fix that data. That's the kind of insight that you can get with a single click with explain data. All right, so we've been talking about how a person can interact and better analyze data. We're going to move now to talking about how do you empower everyone across your organization to work better with data. And we're looking here at the Tableau home screen. So this is the screen where you go to get the content that's relevant to you. You can see items that you've favorited. You can see items that you've recently utilized. You can even go to recommendations. So these recommendations are surfaced through machine learning that finds the latest trending items, also finds items that are interesting to you based on other people like you. And so think of this as kind of a Netflix for your data. Now these recommendations, just like everything in Tableau, are governed by permissions. It means only the right people can get access to the right data. Now, if we go back, we believe data can be a part of every conversation. So we built collaboration right into the platform. We're looking here at a dashboard that a marketing team might use. And so you're seeing open leads on the left side, and you're seeing prime leads on the right. But importantly, on the far right, I want to call your attention to the conversation that we're having around that data. You can see a comment there that Ellie has made about the behavior of leads on Monday. And importantly, we can bring up that view that Ellie was looking at when she made that observation. It's the same state of the data. By having that shared context, it helps us more effectively collaborate on those insights and not waste time. We can really get to the heart of what's happening in our business. Okay. So, oftentimes, when we are in those collaborations, we will run into situations where we want to ask more questions. And you've seen already how easy it is to drag and to drop in Tableau to answer those questions. But what if I told you there was even an easier way? Ask Data is Tableau's interactive question and answer capability. It's based on natural language, so the way that we typically speak. And what that does is expand who can work with data, because anybody can ask a question. So let's try it out. If I ask, what are my discounts by state? I type that in, and I get an immediate answer back. A visualization that shows me that, for example, my discounting has been more aggressive in Texas. What if I want to ask a little more complicated question? I want to compare our discounts and our order size for our opportunities. I ask a question, and bang, I get a visual answer to that question. It also this profoundly changes the way that we work with data. I can ask a question and get a visual answer. So I can also iterate. Oftentimes when we're asking questions, one just leads to the next. So I can select, instead of looking at discounts, let's look at profit. A single click in Tableau or in Ask Data, and it changes that view to look at that by profit. It's also smart. It deeply understands what I'm really asking. So if I type in technology, Ask Data is smart enough to interpret that technology value is in the field called industry. I didn't have to tell it that. And it's filtering the results based on that, right? And so underneath, Ask Data is understanding my data structure. I didn't have to learn a new query language, right? It's doing all of that for me. Because when people talk to each other, they don't say select profit from opportunities where industry equals technology. That's not the natural language that they use. So we really believe this will help bring it to more and more people and make data relevant in everyone's world as they make decisions. Okay, so we've been focused on analysis so far. How do people get better analysis done? But to really get to great analysis and to scale analytics through the whole organization, we need people doing it on the right data. Great analysis depends on data that is accurate and up to date. Essentially, if they don't trust the data that they're working with, they're certainly not going to trust the insights that they're deriving. So that's why we built self-service data management right into the platform. And we put it right in the flow of analytics. So let's have a look at that. We'll start with data management. Usually starts by getting the right data into the system. And that's really all about preparing the data. And frankly, data preparation today is really time-consuming, and it's just too difficult. So we built Tableau Prep with that same visual and direct experience that we showed you already in the analysis. It makes it much more approachable for people to be able to combine and clean and shape their data. In fact, what you're looking at here is what a business user has created to join together some different data sources, to aggregate that data, to clean that data, and to filter that data. Now, once you get the right data into the system, the next thing that you want is to understand how are people using the data. And for that, we built the Tableau Catalog and added it to the Tableau platform. This helps me understand what data is being used, how it's being used, and where it's being used. And so you see here in the catalog all of the different databases and files and tables that make up what I'm administering as our comprehensive data environment. I can see which data sources are the most popular. I can see which data sources have been certified, which is an indicator to end users that they can trust that data more. And I can also see data that might currently have a quality warning on it, also something that an end user could see, so they might be cautious about the conclusions that they're coming to. Of course, Tableau Catalog makes it easy to drill down into more detail. And so underneath, we can go see the tables that make up that database. And I want to point your attention here to the lineage tool on the right-hand side. This is a really cool tool. This helps you understand the upstream and downstream relationships in your data and in your content. Now, when that really matters is when you're making changes in your data. So if I select a column here that we're considering changing, I can see the full impact downstream of the different workbooks and such that'll be impacted by that change. More importantly, I can see the owners of all that content. And it makes it easy for me to go contact those owners to coordinate that change before we go make it, right? Think about what this level of visibility and coordination can do in order to help make great data available in your organization that people can really trust. So this has been a lightning quick tour of Tableau. Of course, there's so much more we could show you. We've talked about how you can connect to, access all of your data, do great analysis on that data, and importantly, get out to everybody in your organization so that that can be the foundation of making better decisions. But before we go, there is one more thing, really special thing that I want to tell you about Tableau. And if you know Salesforce, this won't be surprising to you. We deeply love the Tableau community, our data fam. We work extremely closely with the Tableau community. We consider ourselves to be part of it. The Tableau community shows up in a lot of different places. It shows up on Tableau Public. That's a free offering from Tableau that's essentially the largest data playground in the world. It's a YouTube of data. In fact, there's 750,000 people creating more than 2 million visualizations on Tableau Public that have been viewed more than 2 billion times. And you can find anything up there. You can find the story of terrible deforestation in the Amazon. You can find data about the breadth of the Chinese space program. You can find fun data, like the history of the NFL. I suppose it's fun depending on what team you're a part of. You can find Harry Potter spell data. I mean, I'm just giving you a small idea of everything that you can find up there. We even made it to Hollywood. So the Kaiser Family Foundation made this visualization that showed up on John Oliver's HBO show. So that's not the only place that the Tableau community shows up. Of course, we show up at the Tableau conference where more than 20,000 people got together, had fun, jumped in a ball pit, learned more, and partied on data. We have more than 500 user groups across the world where people get together and inspire each other and talk about tips and tricks. We have more than 1 million students and teachers that are bringing Tableau into the classroom to teach a new generation of data natives and to really, from my perspective, create the Tableau community of the future. We get together online all over the place, in blogs and social media, in forums where people answer each other's questions. There are contests that are run by the community to do the best visualization of data. And also, the Tableau community is making the world a better place. You can find any cause people trying to help with data, making water cleaner, improving health, reducing poverty and homelessness. It's really incredible the amount of social good that the Tableau community does together with the Tableau Foundation. Together, as that Tableau community comes together with the Salesforce Trailblazers, we couldn't be more excited about the things that we can do together with data, and we would love to continue that conversation in the expo hall at the Tableau booth. We can show you more, we can answer more. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk with you all today. Thank you for your time and your attention.